A coach messaged me today and told me that his AD told him that the freshman level is there to win games. And while I'm not against trying to win games, I don't think that's what the freshman level is intended for. To me, any player who's an elite, want to be elite type player is probably not even on a freshman team during their freshman year. They're probably already on JV or varsity. Um, and so the freshman team is generally for players who are still developing, still learning the game, and have something, whether it's age, size, strength, skill level, game intelligence, whatever it is, that hasn't allowed them to be moved up to a JV or varsity level yet. And so the freshman level then should be to develop these skills, to help them develop their strength, their skills, their game intelligence to adjust to high school basketball, to learn to be part of a team, to acclimate to the high school environment. All of these things to me are important at the freshman level. But I do think each and every game, I think you are, playing that game to win, or at least the players are playing that game to win, because I do think that one of the lessons that high school players need to learn is how to win games. How to manage the clock, how to manage situations, how to close out a game, how to come from behind. These are all lessons that are part of becoming a good basketball player. And if you don't play games to win, if you're not worried about the score, so on and so forth, you're losing those opportunities. Now, that being said, as a coach, I'm not coaching a freshman game like every game is, we have to win, and I may, have certain behaviors that would suggest that. I might be calling timeouts or setting up plays or putting on a press late in the game, trying to come from behind, or maybe taking a little bit more time off the clock late in the game if we have a lead. But I'm also going to play every one of my players in the game. And in some cases that may cause us to lose a game because my 12th or my 15th player may not be as good as the opponent's 6th or 7th best player if they're playing a short bench. And that's the risk that I'm taking, and that to me is because it's a freshman level and it's developmental, and I want every player to have that opportunity, and I want every player to develop their skills during that season. I want to make it very hard on the junior varsity coach to pick a team in the next season. I want all the players on the freshman team to be prepared for the next level. I don't want to only play 6 or 7 players so that I've almost done the JV coach's job in terms of picking the next team, because what was once a small discrepancy in talent between, let's say, the 7th best player and the 8th best player becomes a wide chasm because the top 7 play 25 minutes a game, and the bottom 7 players on the team or 8 players on the team play 5 minutes or less per game. And so their skills, they're just a wider gap between the players. I want all the players to play, I want all the players to improve, and I want to make it very hard on that JV coach to pick his or her team. And so from a coaching standpoint, I am coaching that game to win, but I'm also acknowledging that I'm not going to sacrifice the playing everybody just to try to win a game. That ultimately the development and the goals that I have from a developmental standpoint are first and foremost, and then each and every game within those constraints, I'm going to do what I can to try to win the game. So whoever's playing better is probably going to play, a couple more minutes in that game. I'll coach end game situations, like I'm really trying to win the game. So on and so forth. So each individual game is played to win, and I want the players playing to win. But from my perspective, winning isn't the most important thing, and I'm not going to sacrifice the developmental goals just to try to get a win. And to me, that's what the freshman level should be. It's a developmental level. The record of a team at the freshman level really isn't that important. What matters is what you can produce at the varsity level, putting up banners in your gym for varsity championships, for state championships, for league championships, and then ultimately trying to put a couple players from your program into college programs, and then obviously creating a great environment and a great culture for the freshmen through the varsity, that every player is motivated and wants to be a part of that program, wants to be a part of those teams, and it filters down from the varsity level to the freshman level. When you can accomplish those goals, I think you have a great program, regardless of what the record is of your freshman team. And that should be a distant goal is winning those freshman games. Because as a varsity coach, I'd much rather have freshman players who are prepared and have skills and have developed some strength and some game intelligence than players who had a perfect record on a freshman team. Because once they get to the varsity level, that record doesn't matter. What matters is what they can do in a varsity game. And so the easiest way to win at a freshman level doesn't necessarily translate to varsity skills. And so I'd much rather spend my time developing skills that will translate and transfer to the next level, JV and varsity, than just trying to win games at the freshman level, maybe with, press to take advantage of opponents' weaknesses, or, taking advantage of, one player who maybe is really good and feed him the ball inside every time or something like that. So I want to develop all skills. I want to teach players how to win games. I want to approach games in a manner that helps them learn game situations, consequences of actions, expectations, how to approach different situations, both with the lead and from behind. But ultimately, my goals are developmental more so than winning. And to me, freshman level is a developmental level, and that's how we should approach a freshman team.